On May 19th, 1999, Star Wars Episode I, The Phantom Menace, showed moviegoers that every saga has a beginning. But the first installment in George Lucas's prequel trilogy also marked the beginning of a new disturbance in the Force, an enemy that can't be defeated with a lightsaber or a conveniently located elevator shaft. Toxic nostalgia. We live in an era when fandoms are ascendant, but arguments within those fandoms are fiercer than ever, particularly in multi-generational franchises like Star Wars. The Phantom Menace was the first film to expose the gap between the fans who grew up with Star Wars and who loved it even when it fell out of fashion, versus those coming to it for the first time. Those raised on Lucas's original trilogy had a very specific vision of Star Wars, and it's not the vision on display in The Phantom Menace. Instead of a war-torn galaxy filled with scrappy rebel soldiers and Imperial stormtroopers, Lucas presented audiences with a gilded galactic republic that's stiff and formal to a fault. The message of The Phantom Menace is that even the most stable of societies can topple with the smallest push. Lucas cloaked that lesson in an adventure made for children, but not the children who saw Star Wars in theaters in the 1970s.
I think I deserve a public apology from George Lucas.
George Lucas raped our childhood. George Lucas raped our childhood.
They want the films to be tough and like Terminator, and they want to be, real guy movies. And they get very, very upset and very opinionated about anything that has anything to do with being childlike, which the movies are for children, but they don't want to admit that.
Goofy Gungan, Jar Jar Binks, and the actor who played him, Ahmed Best, became one of the focal points of their ire. That surprised both Lucas, who calls Jar Jar his favorite character, and the film's cast, including Liam Neeson, who played Jedi Master Qui-GON Jinn.
Ewan McGregor and I, there were times we just could not stop laughing at what Ahmed was doing. So when the film came out and this reaction to Jar Jar, it was like, it really did take me by surprise,
The criticism upset Best so much, he later revealed that he contemplated suicide.
I faced a media backlash that really made me feel like my life was over.
Fortunately, he received a happier reception when he attended Star Wars Celebration in 2019. Decades later, the rupture that occurred upon The Phantom Menace's release has never fully healed. The anger left over from the prequel trilogy has seeped through into reactions to the post-Lucas sequel trilogy, most notably Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. That film has become a target for a number of perceived sins, from its depiction of an older, jaded Luke Skywalker to the ascendance of diverse characters like Rey, Finn, and Rose. In fact, Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran were subjected to such harsh online criticism that they both quit social media. Many of these attacks can be traced back to the insistence that the things we enjoyed as kids always remain the same. And that demand isn't just placed on Star Wars. Legacy film and television series like Ghostbusters, Star Trek, She-Ra, and the Marvel Universe all have their toxic fans who resist attempts to evolve the franchise to the times and with the audience. It's important to note that they haven't been successful at stopping that evolution. Many of these franchises are arguably more popular now than they've ever been, precisely because they've been expanding their worlds to make room for new fans that reject toxicity for inclusivity. And for the record, toxic fans didn't succeed in erasing The Phantom Menace from the history books either. Episode 1 remains among the 5 highest-grossing Star Wars movies. And now that the generation who saw it as kids have grown up, the movie's reputation has even improved. That shift has been noted by none other than Mace Windu himself, Samuel L. Jackson, who shared with us these words of Jedi wisdom.
You can't please everybody. It's just the nature of how, movies are and what entertainment is.